Biker mice from Mars. Biker mice from Mars. Biker mice from Mars.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel Paws On Animation and our Paws On Animation podcast.
Yes, and today we're covering the animated series Biker Mice from Mars. Yes, it's a real title. With returning Rascal Family member, Mega TriStar.
Star is a huge fan, the biggest fan we know.
Yeah.
So much that she requested for us to watch and review the show with her. Well, your wish is our command and it's been granted.
But before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click notifications on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
And thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing to all of our channels, sharing our videos, commenting, everything you do. As always, we appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, yes, Biker Mice from Mars. We had never heard of it. If we did, it was in passing.
Yes.
And we knew absolutely nothing about this show.
Right.
So we went into it completely not knowing what to expect.
Right.
But we did expect it to be good because Star was recommending it. And her love of it made us really want to watch it.
Yes.
So the first question is, how did you find out about Biker Mice from Mars? And when did you watch it?
I'm not quite sure, but I think I first discovered the show in my late teens, late teens.
Okay.
Late teens, several years ago.
Okay.
I didn't watch the full series until the last summer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Before that, I had only seen several episodes from each of the 3 seasons.
Oh, so we were watching it together.
Pretty
Okay.
much. Wow, that's cool.
Yes, that makes it even more special.
Yes.
So before we continue, was interesting to us. It had 4 developers, 1 composer, William Kevin Anderson, 4 executive producers, one of them being actually Stan Lee, which was a big surprise for us.
Yeah, just like say what?
But I think that at least the first season, it was a co-production of Marvel's. It was co-produced by Marvel Animation.
Yes, but I think most people don't think that it's connected with
Yeah.
the Marvel.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really knows
Yeah.
that. True.
And you're right, and it is. And now that you mentioned that, the production companies were Brentwood TV Funnies, Worldwide Sports and Entertainment Inc.,
What?
Marvel Productions, New World Animation,
What?
and Philippine
New World
Animation Studios.
And speaking of New World Animation, that was partially the co-studio during the 2nd and 3rd seasons.
Which was
Okay.
actually Marvel Productions. It was renamed
Oh.
New World Animation.
Okay.
Now, the information we got says Marvel Productions was renamed New World Animation in November of 1993, and in 1994, Marvel and New World established Marvel Films, including Marvel Films Animation.
Oh.
So that's why we were kind of surprised too.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you can do a little research and see if that matches up with what you know. But we always try to give the most information
Yes.
we can. And
Well,
only cause
accurate information.
I'm looking at it now, yes.
Right, that's the only reason.
Right. It's not off my memory.
Right.
And New World established Marvel Films as well as New World Animation, Saban Entertainment, and Marvel Films Animation. And it's just confusing. Actually, when you're sitting and you're reading all this, it's like
you're asking who even has it.
It's very confusing. There's too many irons in the fire.
And I think that's why the show itself has such a hodgepodge of different themes to it. It's a action show, it's a comedy show, it's a superhero show, it's a adventure show, it's a sci-fi show, it's for radical dudes and motorcycles. It literally has a bit of everything. In a way, that's a good thing. It was still unique. However, I think people who have never heard of the show are going to be like tragically confused and say, what is this show again?
Well, that's why they're listening to all three of us now.
Yes.
So quickly, before we give Star a little more of the reins, the show follows three anthropomorphic mice motorcyclists named Throttle, Moto, and Vinny, and they were from Mars.
Yeah.
And when you first hear it, you're like,
what?
Can this work? This is really strange. And then you watch it, and it actually works.
Yes. I guess they said, well, you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you accept that, you're going to accept Biker Mice from Mars.
And there were a few nods in the first season to TMNT, which surprised us.
Yes.
So, one thing that Star is really great at is knowing about the episodes.
Yes. Off
and
the top
the
of her
content
head.
and everything. So, we're going to ask you to give us your synopsis of this show, because we just gave a basic one.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
You can do it.
Yes.
The main trio are actually war veterans. Mars is actually, in reality, Mars was their homeworld. Mars was invaded by an alien race, a race of alien fish called the Plutarchians. It's from planet Plutarch. The guru found the deal with the Plutarchians is because they wasted their own resources, so they go around on the cosmos, other planets, stealing resources from other planets that they get their hands on.
Space Invaders.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Transformers.
Awesome. The main trio are actually somewhat war-weary veterinarians. They got injured trying to fight for the planet.
That's why one has an eye patch, right?
Right, and the robotic arm.
It's not really the first. Part of the reason why they fight to defend Earth is to prevent that planet from meeting the same fate as their home planet did.
Okay.
So that in a lot of ways reminds us not only, as you said, of Transformers, but also Sailor Moon.
Yes. So they took inspiration from those shows to make this and put their own spin on it. I do think it's kind of funny that their enemies are the Plutarchians are kind of fish people, but they also smell and have the names of cheese. And the biker mice can't stand cheese or allergic.
Dragon Ball inspiration.
Yeah, I think that's funny.
One of the funniest reoccurring, I think that might be actually be true. Some species of mice actually don't eat cheese, or dig at the cartoon food stereotype of mice liking cheese. Either way, it's funny.
Yeah, You're right, because now when they're on Earth and she offers them that, they're like offended, so they end up eating root beer and hot dogs, and it's like oh shoot, and they said
root beer is a drink, hot dogs are the food.
you're right. I said root beer first by accident somehow. Hot dogs and root beer, and at one point they want chili dogs, and it's like okay, now you're not Sonic, now you're taking other people's foods.
And it's also reminiscent of Dragon Ball with
Yes.
the food names.
Yes.
So a few of the names are Lord Camembert, Mudfish Murdoch, Provolone, Dominic T. Stilton, Gerald Guerriere, Jack Monterey,
You already mentioned Liver Good and Brie.
Yes.
Gutama, Gouda, and Romana Parmigiana.
Right.
That's a catchy one.
Right. Hey, you know, I could say they took it.
And also said alien race has a very interesting greeting.
Yes. And they have to, when they do the greeting, whether it's over the phone or in person or something, they shake their butts to each other, and it's so bad. Even Limburger doesn't like it. It's so stupid. He's like, oh, I want to do this.
In fact, in one episode, he's so annoyed of it that he slaps his human mask on Grace Pit and makes him do it.
Yes, that was actually one of our favorite bits. It got so mad. He's like, no, you do it. And then swaps back when it's over.
Humiliation again.
Right.
So that a lot of this tongue-in-cheek humor is throughout the series.
Right.
Now the first 2 seasons pretty much had the same vibe.
Yeah.
The entire season.
And the routine, yes.
Yes, and season 3 ended up being kind of different, where it got more silly, and we were kind of surprised.
Right. Up until like the final 3 episodes.
Right. But the first 2 seasons were brilliant in the VA casting.
Yes.
That is one of the things that really impressed me the most.
And Chloe kept telling us about that so many times.
Yeah, and Star kept saying, you're going to be surprised who guest stars. You're going to be surprised. And let's see if you can recognize them. And they had some favorites from 90210.
Yeah.
And of course, Jason Priestley, I got him right away. I'm like, that's him! That's him! That's him! That's him! That's him!
Yeah.
In season 2, particularly once Luke Perry showed up.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
Absolutely.
it was hilarious because he kept talking.
Like he was Elmer Fudd.
Yes,
He was
it was
my diabolical
hilarious.
plans.
And one of my favorite episodes is when he's in the mirror and he's trying to put on a disguise. He's like, no, too this. No, too pretty. Where he's...
Actually, he's wandering I think he's wandering the street or something.
Yeah.
On that face mask scene.
Yes.
Yes.
The face mask.
Yes. Yes. And all of his faces were different. Now 210 people, actors' faces. So he just went back to his original.
The first one is Luke Perry himself.
Yes.
He says, no. Aren't you good looking or afraid?
You-
The second one is apparently Ian Ziering. It was like,
He was too pretty.
Yes.
Really wealthy.
And our other favorite was when he was talking to I think Vinny. Vinny is the white mouse, right? I think.
Yeah, with the metallic mask.
Yes. And what was hilarious is that they were talking and they were gonna have a race, and one of the bad guys said, "Oh, get real! This isn't Beverly Hills." And he looked at him and said, "Wait, have we met before?" And he said, "Maybe in high school, in your dreams."
He actually says that, don't I know you somewhere? Like, maybe we went to school together. To which Vinny replies, in our galaxy.
Yeah, it was actually hilarious. I do like they kept making jokes about 90210 in here.
Yes.
Even though I didn't watch it, it was still great that they did
It was
that.
wonderful to me because I did. And it was brilliantly done. It wasn't just in your face. Hey, look, 90210.
Yeah.
The way it was brought up each time was just brilliant and fun and
Yes.
creative.
Yes.
And you kept seeing those type of references to even pop culture at the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
All throughout the series.
The people I checked it in mice for.
Okay.
Is that what is the reason why people online seem to be interested in the mice? Is that sometimes they're a walking topless scene.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's like, hey, you know what? They're aliens.
In fact, there's a scene in the episode in the very first season where two of them get captured by that episode's villain, and they're completely topless. To the point where the abs are showing.
Yeah, it's furry fan service.
Yes.
and what's hilarious is that this show in this universe, it's like it kind of treads between, okay, this is believable to what the heck is even in this going on in this show, and
Yes.
it's like back and forth. Like you can handle a lot of things, but there were stuff like that, like no.
But I think the best part of it, in terms of why you should watch if you've never seen it, they're superheroes.
Yes.
And they didn't just go to TMNT and copy. They
Right.
made something different. Again, there are a few nods to it
Right.
in season 1. But it's something different and at the time new and interesting. And they do a lot of good on Earth.
Yes.
All the
That's their
time.
yeah.
They're looking to,
This is
as
why
Star said, protecting
this is why
Earth and the human.
Yeah.
it's a tell considering the other TMNT as shows it had managed to have an staying power show or enough interest to get a second series in the late 2000s.
Yes. You were telling us there was a reboot. 2006, correct?
Not a reboot, a sequel series.
Okay. So I guess they were.
So
trying
it's
to
not
get
a
some-
revival because we saw that it was called a revival. So it's a sequel?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 So with this, like we said, the pattern usually for the first 2 seasons was they're going about their day and they have a human friend named Charlie who works at her late father's garage, and they kind of just stay there. And Limburger has this place in Chicago, and the whole thing they have every episode is that he's got a scheme.
When they're not hanging out at the scoreboard that
Yeah.
they literally crashed into.
Right. And the thing is, he has some weird plan to get the resources he wants, and it's always convoluted. And they're in Chicago on top of it, and they usually fight him.
And
but they
sometimes
defeat-
Detroit.
Right. And they usually have them start a big battle with him, and they defeat him, and his building crumbles to the bottom every time and gets fixed next episode.
The first 2 episodes, his building, they leave his building intact. It's not until the end of the third one that the running gag begins. It starts up.
Right. So they usually keep, after that pattern up for the first 2 seasons. Season 3, I guess they want to try to change the formula a bit by doing some more surreal type storylines, and a lot of them involve time travel
Traveling
and
to
stuff.
different places.
Yes, and other planets and things, and it completely changed the tone. And then it gets to the final 3 episodes. Suddenly, it takes a serious turn.
The last episode before that ending 3-parter had the writers suddenly go, "Hey, let's have them accidentally get transferred to the very planet their enemies are from that destroyed their home."
Yeah, exactly. And they get to the 3-parter, and I guess they were going to tell you how everything started. I guess see how it began at the end and how they ended up getting to Earth, where the war started on Mars and everything. And genuinely, that was interesting. Even though it was it was a more serious tone than what they had the rest of the season. It was actually one of the more interesting episodes and stories, considering they had a lot of freedom fighter type shows on in the 90s.
Right.
It wasn't an invasion, but they were always more or less sold by they were more or less sold out by their own government to them.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
So one thing that really stood out for me when watching it is, you had villain, supervillain, you had Limburger there all the time.
Yeah.
That reminded me of Jim and the Holograms.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of what worked for this series, and this is just opinion, is having the dynamic with them and Limburger.
Yeah.
Like with Jim and the Holograms, there was an episode where, what was the name of the villains?
The Misfits.
The Misfits.
In the hologram.
They weren't there. And the episode was horrible. It sucked. And I think the same thing would have happened here if they had had an episode where they didn't have Limburger or a major villain.
Yeah, this is still Biker Mice. We were just bringing up the example of Gem and the Holograms. That's all.
And what I'm saying is, it worked. The dynamic of having Limburger or some other supervillain every episode worked for this show.
Yes.
And if it had been one episode where you didn't have them, it wouldn't have worked. And it was fantastic. It was a great it was a great dynamic.
Yes.
One of his henchmen is voiced by a woman, despite being the adult male. Not just any woman.
What I'm
Silo.
okay. What I'm saying.
I think she says something about her versatility. Listen to how she does. I don't think you'd be able to guess that's her right away.
No, we weren't.
Right.
But the thing that worked in the best dynamic was them having a villain or supervillain every single episode.
Yes.
That balance was there,
Yes.
and it worked every single episode.
Yes.
And I think if they had had one episode where they weren't there, it wouldn't have worked.
Right.
Just like Jim and
They
the
were-
Holograms. They
Yes.
needed Limburger.
Yes.
And they needed the villain.
Yes, they were essential to the
Yes.
show.
And it worked every single episode.
Right. So this is definitely a show that I think does stand out. Yes, it's a little bit of a nod and similar to TMNT, even with their little nods to it. But I think it deserves more attention for it being its own thing.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
ridiculous, it's fun, it's crazy, it's a superhero show unlike anything else you've ever seen. It's really something you should check out for yourself to see just how crazy the storylines can get too.
Now, Star also let us know that there's going to be a reboot, correct? A reboot? That's Ryan Reynolds.
I jokingly call it Biker Pool because of the person who's directing it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
And it's through his company Maximum Effort.
Yeah.
And it may be distributed by Disney, since we read that in 2001 they gained ownership
With
of
Fox,
it.
yes.
Yeah, when they got Fox
20th
Kids.
Century Fox,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. He did a great job with If.
Yes.
So I'm willing to give the series a chance.
Yes.
Because he did a great job with If.
Yes.
And we were wondering if possibly it's going to end up on Prime as well. What do you think?
It's the reboot in question is a TV series.
Okay. So now I know. We'll just
Well, I
find
knew
out
it was
when
a
it's-
series.
Right.
That's why I said series before.
Okay, so we'll just find out and see
Yeah,
when it comes out.
I'm willing to give it a chance. So let's quickly give a shout out to the voice cast, as we always do. We have to, because we think they all deserve to be recognized, and that's just how it is for us. So quickly, we have as the three main characters Throttle, voiced by Rob Paulson. He's the tan Biker Mouse. Moto, voiced by Dorian Harewood, the Gray Mouse, and Vinny, voiced by Ian Ziering.
Yeah.
90210.
Right.
You had supporting characters. Charlene is who you were talking about.
Mhm.
Davison, voiced by Lisa Miller McGee. Rimfire, voiced by Brian Austin Green, another 90210 alumni. General Carbine, voiced by Leah Remini, which was a very big surprise.
Yes.
Stoker, voiced by Peter Strauss. And as you mentioned, Harley, voiced by Kathy Susie.
Mm-hmm.
4x, voiced by Michael Dorn. and Asphalt, voiced by Jason Priestley. Yay!
Big one.
And of course, Lawrence Lactavius Limburger, voiced by W. Morgan Shepherd.
Yes.
But you had so many guest stars and so many people that appeared
throughout.
We do not have time to give credit to everyone.
Right,
But you
so
can,
many.
But you can look them up and see. I'm sure some of your favorites have appeared on this series at some time.
Yes.
Voicing a character. And yes, we definitely recommend you give it a try. Don't look at it and go, oh, it's probably silly or a copy of TMNT. It isn't. As Rascal said, it's his own series.
Yes.
And we are grateful to Star for recommending it to us and having us watch it.
Right.
Because we genuinely enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm looking forward to even giving the reboot, the real reboot, a try and see if they not only pay homage well, but if they respect the original source material.
Right. And you can watch the entire series on YouTube for free. Just type it in, look for the playlist, and you can start watching.
And lastly, we know because of Star, they had some comics that came out, as well as a game, correct? A video game?
Yeah. A retelling of the first of their. Speaking of Marvel and Biker Mice, they did do a more or less a comic retelling of the first episode back when the show first came out.
Okay.
And currently, the Nacelle Company has the Biker Mice as part of their Nacelle-verse.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we also learned that Oni Press has rebooted the comic series in July of 2024.
And I think you have at least one of the issues, right?
Yeah.
And now that things getting like this summer is an ongoing series, comic series.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So you have not just the show, but a comic series. It's got its own little franchise.
And last but not least, you tagged us in a post for Funkos. They got their own Funkos.
Yes. That's a big move.
It's like one of those. It's honestly one of those things I'd love to have a Funko of. And now it actually happened.
Yes. Hooray.
So this has been a journey we never thought we'd take.
Right.
This is a series we never thought we'd watch, and we're glad we have.
Right.
We have watched so many things because of recommendations.
Yes.
Individually and together. And this is just another fun one to add to our collection or our library of things we've watched and enjoyed.
Yes.
So if you've seen Biker Mice from Mars, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 seasons, or even the
revival series later.
Let us know.
2006
Yes.
sequel series?
Yes,
you
the
mean?
sequel series. Yes,
Yes.
thank you. Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't, again, we recommend that you do give it a try. Especially it's the summer. You're looking for something to watch and chill. This is it.
Right.
And if you're fans of a lot of voice actors, guaranteeing you most of them probably do appear in here at some point.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised when you hear them.
Yes, absolutely.
And when you do, come back and let us and Star know what you think.
Yes. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting. Really appreciate you. And thank you, Star, for recommending and joining us for this podcast. Thank you.
Yay.
And be sure to visit not only her YouTube channel, but also her X channel, because it's awesome.
Yes.
As I always tell you, she's got lots of great things.
Right.
Get over there, follow her either on YouTube, well, both. Follow her on YouTube
follow
and
both
on
to
X.
get the best content.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
I'm Mama.
I'm Megatron. And I'm TriStar.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
See ya.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to mountaintops, rivers, and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket. Give it to you later on in the form of a locket.